Hi everybody, it's Claire back with another art journal video, and this is a ScrapFX design team project using ScrapFX goodies. So I'm starting off using the face from Comic Girl by Tanya Froud. I've just cut the face off the sheet of collage paper, and here I'm just adding some white acrylic paint to the back of it, just to make that image a little bit more opaque so that it doesn't kind of disappear into the background as much, because I do want this to be my focal point. So once I'd brushed the paint all over, I dried it really carefully, and then I'm just going to cut the image out. I'm obviously going to save these little bits that are left from around the edge, because they can go into my scrap paper box. Quite useful to keep these little bits that are left over, useful for making little collages on your page. So you can see, because I've added that white paint on the back, it's made the image a lot stronger. Then I'm just selecting other bits from that collage sheet that's quite useful to keep. And here I am making a note of what I've used for when I edit the videos, because I can never remember what things are called. I am dreadful with remembering the names of things. So this is a collage paper. I think it's the script text collage paper. I'm going to be sticking that down using some matte medium onto my page. So I'm going to start off by just layering some different text collage papers. So I've got this script one, and then I've got a graffiti one as well. And the reason for using these is just to kind of build up some interest on the background first. If you're kind of a little bit scared by the blank page when you're starting, as I've said many times, this is a great way to get that background started, just to kind of get rid of that blank page that you don't really know where to start. And because in mixed media art journaling, it's great to create those layers. It's one of the fantastic things that I really love about this, is building those layers on your page. This is a fantastic way to start. So here I'm just layering these papers on, and obviously using the matte medium to stick those down. And before I move on to the next stage, I do dry that really, really well. So then I'm going in with my favourite pink, which if you follow me and are subscribed to me, then you know this is my favourite pink at the minute, and it has been for quite a while. It's the Permanent Red Violet Light from Amsterdam Acrylic. I should be on commission for them really, but you know, hey, not sorted that yet. So then I'm also using I think this is called Light Rose. This is also an Amsterdam acrylic paint. Building up my collection of their paints. I think you can't have too many paints, can you? But shh, don't tell anybody. And then I'm using the Circles Galore stencil. I think it's Galore B, this one, which was designed by me for ScrapFX. As you know, I do like using circles on my journal pages. It's such a lovely shape to add onto your pages. You can do so many things with them as well. So just using the same colours here through my stencils. So this is the graffiti stencil, which is also from ScrapFX, and here I'm just using that light rose colour again. So I'm building up the layers of colour in the background, but keeping them the same so that it kind of is cohesive and it all works together, because I want the focal point to really pop on this page. So she's going to go there, and you notice that I haven't put any paint behind, pretty much behind where her face is going to go. I wanted it to sort of stay quite calm where that image was going to be. So I'm sticking that in place using some gel medium, matte medium, and then once it's dry, I'm going in with a Stabilo oil pencil and just going over some of those dark lines just to darken them up and make them stand out a little bit more. To be super careful not to end up giving her a double chin or something slightly crazy. And then I'm just using a Neo Colour 2 in that sort of pale pink and just adding a little bit more blush to those cheeks, blotting off the excess. Going in with my white gel pen and adding in the whites of the eyes. That just sharpens up those eyes really, and adding in a catch light as well. Sorry, excuse me. So this is the Star mask. It comes in a set with lots of different sizes, and sometimes it's great to just do this to calm down your background. You can push it away, you can still see the lovely layers and things that you've built up on the background, but it just adds a little bit of calmness, and particularly using white, it's a really great way to do that. So I'm going to use a couple of different sizes. And I was really pleased with how this kind of went, adding that white on there. It just brought a real calmness to the page, which I think has worked quite well. So once I have masked over those stars, then it gets given a really good dry. And then I'm using the Signo Uniball and I'm just outlining those stars as well in some quite sketchy loose lines, not worrying too much about sticking exactly where the outline is, but keeping it quite free. I like that look. I don't like it to be too perfect, and I think sometimes when you're creating journal pages, to create that kind of loose sketchy look is quite a nice way to work. So then I'm using, this is a dotty stamp that I've created, designed for funkyfossil.co.uk, and they are based in the UK. And I have had a couple of releases with Funky Fossil so far. There is another one coming up later in the year. And here I'm just using the Keep Calm, Create Art wordlet from Scrap Effects. I've just used a bit of clear glue and to stick that in place, adding some more dots, just some slightly bigger ones, just to create a bit more difference in those spaces where the dots are. Again, it just builds up the layers of interest in the page too. And I do love adding these kind of marks onto my pages when I've nearly finished. Here I'm going in with quite a large Posca pen, and I just wanted to kind of add a little bit more of a brighter pink onto these stars, and I'm just doing some little dots and then smudging it with my finger, and you can see it just adds a little bit more depth to that pink. It's quite a nice way to do that. And then with the paint that was left over, I'm just adding some splatters onto there as well. It would also have worked quite well to have done some turquoise splatters, which I can now see looking at this. So this is the little strip of stars that I had left over from the collage sheet. And I'm just sticking these on the top and bottom of the little wordlet that I've stuck in place as well. And that is it. That's this page finished. So really nice, calm background, using that masking to just push the background away a bit, using the comic girl face as my focal point. So I hope you found some inspiration from this. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.